Welcome back, students. Welcome to the class. So today we will going to discuss very important properties of potassium dichromate and KMnO4, and along with that we will take a look at that the lanthanide contraction, which is a very important topic. Now, first of all, that chromyl chloride test. Now, chromyl chloride test is given by the compounds which have presence of chlorine in them. This test is given by ionic compounds. If an organic compound does not give this test, even organic or covalent nature halides also do not give this test. So when a compound containing chloride ion heated with potassium dichromate in concentrated H2SO4, orange red fumes of chromyl chloride CrO2Cl2 are formed. Look at that equation. What happens? Dense orange red fumes will be produced in the test tube. Okay. When these orange fumes are passed through NaOH solution, then the sodium hydroxide solution becomes yellow due to the formation of sodium chromate. To this sodium chromate solution, we will add a little bit 1 or 2 drops of acetic acid solution, and then we add to it lead acetate. On adding the lead acetate, a yellow PPT of lead chromate is settled down at the bottom. So the two observation can be represented by the following two equation. First is that chromyl chloride react with NaOH to give you sodium chromate, and then sodium chromate react with lead acetate to give a yellow PPT of lead chromate. I already told you the covalent chlorides do not give this reaction. Similarly, chlorides of mercury, chlorides of silver, chlorides of lead, and chloride of tin, all they have considerable covalent character due to the Fazan rule. Okay, so the chlorides of mercury, silver, lead, and tin do not respond to chromyl chloride test. Are you sure about that? Next, you have reaction with H2O2. Hydrogen peroxide being a oxidizing agent as well as a reducing agent. In this case, it is acting as a reducing agent. So when potassium dichromate react with H2O2 and dilute H2SO4 in presence of ether, then the organic layer, means ether layer, becomes deep blue due to the formation of CrO5. CrO5 is popularly known as butterfly structure. You all know that, okay? These two bonds are peroxide linkages. What they are? Peroxide linkages. CrO5 is very well popularly known as butterfly compound. Okay, because its structure is like a butterfly. The blue color of the CrO5 slowly becomes colorless or fade away due to the decomposition of CrO5 into Cr3 plus ion and the liberation of oxygen. Reaction of dichromate with H2O2 under neutral conditions. Okay, in the previously we have seen that under acidic condition you have the formation of CrO5. Here in this case it gives you a violet color complex of potassium diperoxychromate. Okay, in the previous case the color is blue, in this case the color is violet. Are you getting that? Now at pH 4, dichromate and chromate. This is chromate ion and this is dichromate ion. The chromate ion is yellow in color while dichromate is orange in color. So at pH the equilibrium exists, and in that equilibrium chromate and dichromates are interconvertible. Now when yellow colored chromate, when you add an acid, it will transform into orange colored dichromate. And to the orange colored dichromate, if you add a base, it will transform to yellow color chromate ion. Next is the reaction of KMnO4 with iodide ion. Now this reaction is very important, because when KMnO4 react with iodide ion in acidic medium, it will transform to I2. So it becomes -1 to 0. But when same alkaline KMnO4 is taken, then -1 oxidation state of potassium iodide transform into +5 of KiO3. So it is very important that I negative transform into iodine. So -1 becomes 0 in acidic medium, while the same -1 becomes this is called as iodate ion. It is called as iodate ion in basic medium. Are you getting that or not? So here it is in what? Here it is in +5 state. So iodide ion will lose 2 electron in what? In case of one iodide ion will lose 1 electron only. So iodide transform into iodine acid medium, while iodide transform into IO3 negative under basic condition by KMnO4. This is very important question. Are you getting that? Now KMnO4 reaction with sodium thiosulfate. Everyone knows that this is sodium thiosulfate. Okay. Now the sodium thiosulfate transform into dithionate. Okay, in which you have formation of SS bond. Okay, that is dithionate. Okay, in acidic medium. While in neutral medium, it transform into sulfate. So remember that in acidic medium it will transform into dithionate. Okay, but in case of what? But in case of neutral medium, it will transform into what? It will transform into sulfate ion. Are you sure about that? Clear? Now we will discuss the the elements. Those are popularly known as lanthanoids. They are called as what? Lanthanoids. So lanthanoids are given by what? We will give them some names. C stand for what? It stands for cerium. PR stand for praseodymium. ND stand for neodymium. PM stand for promethium. SM stand for samarium. EU stand for europium. GD stand for gadolinium. TB stand for terbium. DY stands for dysprosium. HO stand for holmium. ER stand for erbium. TM stand for thulium. YB stand for ytterbium, and LU stand for lutetium. Lanthanum is not taking as a F block element because it does not contain any F electron. So it starts from cerium and ends at lutetium. They are called as lanthanoid because it just comes after lanthanum. Okay, are you sure? Take their name. Okay, now what is lanthanoid? Lanthanoids are F block inert transition elements containing partially filled 4F subshells. They are also known as lanthanides or lanthanines because of their similarity between the element lanthanum, whose atomic number is 57, which is actually a D block element. The 14 elements starts from 58 and ends at 71. Okay, are you getting that? So lanthanum is written only, okay, but it is not a lanthanoids. So it starts from cerium. Are you getting that? So it is cerium, then praseodymium, neodymium, promethium, samarium, europium. Then you have gadolinium, terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium, and lutetium. So that's how you will take out. From these above electronic configuration, it can be seen that lanthanum 5d orbital is singly occupied, but after lanthanum, filling of 5d is not taking place. Look at that. It is 5d1, but it is 5d0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So no electron enter into d orbitals now. All electrons now are now entering F sublevel. So it is 4f2, then 4f3, then 4f4, then 4f5, then 4f6, 4f7, like that. Okay, are you sure about that? So you can easily see that europium 4f7, okay, gadolinium also 4f7. Now look at that, both are f7. It indicates that half-filled orbitals are highly stable. Half-filled orbitals are highly stable. Okay, terbium has what? F9. Okay, sure about that. Then N14. Both ytterbium and lutetium shows F14. But in case of lutetium, okay, you have D F14 and D1. But in case of ytterbium, you don't have any D electron. It is 4f14. So both f7 and f14 are extra stable due to their electronic configuration. Okay, as the nuclear charge changes from lanthanum to cerium, 4f orbitals become higher energy level than up to lutetium. So up to lutetium, what will happen? 4f orbital remain in the lower energy level, fall slightly below 5d level, 4f level. So after that, what happens? That 4f level becomes smaller than what? And begin to fill and completely filled up to lutetium. So 4f becomes lower energy level than done. In case of 5d, you have n plus l value, 5d. N is 5, L is 2, so answer is 7. In 4f also you have 4 plus 3, that is 7. So both 5d and 4f have same value of n plus L. Okay, are you sure about that? But according to then, so the electronic rule what we have already learned in our class 11th. Now the very important property of lanthanide contraction, we will first study about lanthanide contraction. But before that, let's study some electronic configuration. So electronic configuration in this case will be n minus 2 f, n minus 1 d, ns. Okay, so 6x is there, 5d is there, and 4f is there. Are you getting that or not? F7 and F14 are extra stable due to what? Due to half-filled and fully filled orbitals. Are you getting that? Nice. Now lanthanoids are the rare earth metals element. The elements with the atomic number from 58 to 71 following the element lanthanum. So lanthanum is not lanthanoid. So they are called as rare earth metal. Since the occurrence of these elements is very small, near about 3 into 10 power minus 4% of the earth's crust. They are available as monazite sand as lanthanide orthophosphates. The term lanthanide was introduced by Norwegian mineralogist Victor Goldsmith. The lanthanoid family consists of 15 metallic elements from lanthanum to the lutetium, but one of which all but one of which are F block elements. So definitely lanthanum is not an F block element. The available electrons of these elements lie in the 4f orbital. Lanthanum, however, a d block element, its electronic configuration is 5d1 6s2, that is its valence shell configuration. Lanthanoids are highly dense elements and their density are ranging from 6.1 to 9.8 gram per cubic centimeter cube. Like most metal, these metals having very high melting point ranging from 800 degrees Celsius to 1600 degrees Celsius, and they have a very high boiling point. All these lanthanoids are commonly known as Ln3 plus cations. Now, lanthanide contraction. The atomic size of or the ionic radii of tri-positive lanthanoid ions decreases in a very steady manner from lanthanum to lutetium due to increase in nuclear charge and electron enter n-2 f orbitals. This gradual decrease in the size on increasing atomic number is known as lanthanide contraction. So there will be a decrease in the atomic size if we move from lanthanum to lutetium. Okay, there are some consequences, means results of the lanthanide contraction. Okay, that is properties like atomic sizes, difficulty in separation of lanthanide, basic strength of the hydroxide, complex formation ability of the lanthanoid, and ionization energy of the pre and post d block elements. First of all, look at the atomic size here. Okay, first the value is 106, then 101, then 99, 98, 96, 95, 94, 92, 91, 89, 88, 87, 86. Okay, that is in picometer. There is a gradual decrease in the ionic radii. Of the lanthanoids. Since the energy of 4f and 5d orbitals are very nearly same. Okay, so the behavior is also observed in case of 5 and 6d also. The shielding of one f electron by the another from the nuclear charge is quite weak due to the shape of the f orbitals, and hence with the increasing atomic number the effective nuclear charge experienced by the 4f electrons increases. Because of that contraction of the atomic and ionic radii produced from lanthanum to lutetium, they will feel a contraction. In their size. What do you mean by that? What I told you, that as we move from lanthanum to lutetium, the electrons are continuously filling in the 4f orbitals. Now 4f orbitals have very poor shielding effect. What is that very poor shielding effect? That the ability of the inner electron to protect the valence electron from the nuclear charge. But since due to high electron density in the sub-level, the electronic repulsions are large, and due to that what happens, the 4f electrons are not able to shield their valence electron in a effective manner. So you can say that 4f electrons do not have much ability to protect their valence electron from the nuclear charge. So due to the enhanced nuclear charge, what happens? The electron experience more and more attraction from nucleus and the size become less. So let's look at what is the cause of the lanthanide contraction. In lanthanide contraction, the additional electron enter 4f sublevel but do not in valence shell. Means because its configuration is what? N minus 2f, n minus 1d, ns. So electron does not enter n minus 1d. In place of that, it enters 4f, that is n minus 2. Sixth, the shielding effect of one electron in 4f sublevel by the another in the same sublevel is very, very small than that of d orbitals. Everyone knows that f orbitals are most poorly shielded and s electrons are heavily shielded. So because of the shape of the f sublevel is highly diffused, the nuclear charge or the atomic number increases by a unity at each step. The nuclear charge also increases in each step, but there is no comparable increase in the mutual shielding effect of 4f electron. This results in the electron in the outermost shell experience nuclear attraction from the growing nucleus. So the atomic and ionic radius goes on decreases as we move from lanthanum to lutetium. So it means due to the poor shielding of the f orbitals or the f electrons, the valence s electron experience high attraction from the nucleus, and due to that what happens? The size of the lanthanoid ions or cations decreases continuously. Now we have to look at the consequences of the lanthanide contraction. Some important consequences means results, that high density of the post lanthanide elements. So what happens that pre-lanthanide and post-lanthanide elements have the same size. Okay, it means that is very, very important, that before lanthanum it comes out to be the second transition series, and after lanthanum there will be third transition series. Then what happens due to lanthanide contraction? Due to the lanthanide contraction in the same group, the post-lanthanides have smaller atomic size in comparison to pre-lanthanide, like hafnium and zirconium. They have the same atomic size despite being a difference of 32 elements in between that. Okay, so first of that, because of lanthanide contraction, the atomic size of post-lanthanide element becomes very small. So pre and post lanthanides have the same atomic size. The arrangement of atoms in metallic cluster is much compact. Then the density becomes very large. The density of second series transition metals, that starts from what? That start from yttrium to cadmium. So what happens here in this case? From the atomic size of what? The atomic size of zirconium and hafnium is same. Zirconium has atomic number of what? 40, and hafnium has atomic number of 72, but their size is same. Similarly, niobium and tantalum have the same atomic size. Are you getting that? Similarly, molybdenum and tungsten has the same atomic size. Why it is so? Because zirconium is pre-lanthanide, hafnium is post-lanthanide. Niobium is pre-lanthanide, tantalum is post-lanthanide. Molybdenum is pre-lanthanide and tungsten is post-lanthanide. So these elements, they have the atomic number difference of 32, but their atomic sizes are nearly same. Why? Due to the lanthanide contraction. Due to the lanthanide, zirconium and hafnium have same size. Niobium and tantalum have same size. Molybdenum and tungsten have same size. Okay, that is very, very important. Similarly, basic nature of the oxide and hydroxide. There is a decrease in the basic strength of oxides and hydroxide of lanthanide with increase in atomic number. The basic strength decreases as the ionic size or radius decreases. The basicity of Ln3 plus ion may be expected to decrease in the order. Lanthanum 3 plus is the most basic and lutetium is the least. The difference in basicity are reflected in thermal decomposition of oxysalt. More basic oxysalt decomposes less easily. Hydrolysis of ions. More basic ions hydrolyze less readily. Solubilities of salt. Formation of the complex. Decreasing ease of oxidation of metals with the increasing atomic number. So all these are what? All these are the consequences of what? Consequences of the lanthanide contraction.